I paid $900 for this pallet of broken power tools. Let's see if I can fix them. This video is sponsored by iFixit, more on them in a minute. So we have a total of 14 Ryobi tools, 6 DeWalt, 5 Milwaukee, 3 Ridgid, 1 Craftsman, and 1 Porter cable. Let's get started with the Ryobi tools and see if we can fix those. All right, let's open these 3 and see if any of these have a battery in them. Okay, we got the tool. We've got a bag. Oh, I see a charger. Give us a battery. Charger. Oh, is this battery? Yes. And battery. And second battery. So this box has everything it's supposed to have in it. It includes a drill bit even. All right. So we're starting out great here. We've got the tool, we've got the 2 batteries, we've got the charger and the case, and that's everything that's supposed to be included in this box, which usually with returns items, you don't usually get everything that's supposed to be in the box. So that's a great start to this video. So we got the charger all plugged in. Let's see if these batteries charge. Oh, just the red light. Is there any... This battery has no power. Let's try the other battery. Okay, good. Okay, and the charger goes to green. Okay, so this is charging. This battery, however, seems to not charge and seems like it has 0 volts in it. Let's actually check with a meter and see what it has in it. So we're going to check DC voltage here. Wow, we have 0.022 volts. This battery is so dead. So that's going to be the first thing that we're going to try and fix here. So probably one of the things that's going to get this thing charging, hopefully, is maybe we can jump start this battery. So I'm going to get this taken apart in a minute here. I want to get this battery fully charged, so then we can test some of these power tools. But this looks like the first thing we need to try and fix. And looking at it, this battery is actually almost fully charged, so I'm just going to take this out and put it in this drill. Let's see if this drill works. Yeah. Everything seems to work. So I think power tool number 1 just has that battery we need to fix. We'll take a look at that battery here in a minute. I want to move on to the next power tool and see what's going on with that one. Also, we need to get some running totals going here. So this one has a faulty battery. New is 140, used is about 70 bucks, and I ended up paying about $50 for each of these items. So even if we can't fix this battery, I could probably still make money on this one. So far, after 1 item, we're doing great. And item number 2 should have 2 batteries and a charger along with, it looks like just a drill. So let's see what we have in here. Okay, so there we go. There's the driver. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. Looks like it has been used a bit, but not too bad. What do we have in here? We have what looks like a charger. And that's it. No batteries. So, should be able to plug this in and see if it works. It sounds kind of like a cheaper power tool, but Ryobi is a cheaper power tool, so this one actually seems pretty good. And this one is $99 with the batteries and charger, so we're definitely not gonna make money on this one. Let's check used prices on eBay. Okay, so we got $50. Oh, that's only $20. So it looks like we should at least be able to get 20 bucks for it. Again, without that battery, that's the main problem with this one. So looks like this one's worth about $20. All right, let's move on to number 3. This is iFixit's brand new portable soldering station. This is the FixHub Power Series. It's a 100-watt smart soldering iron portable soldering station that makes soldering easy and accessible without compromising on power. The 100-watt iron can adjust from 100 to 400 degrees Celsius or 400 to 750 degree Fahrenheit in under 4 seconds. It's got a heat resistant cap for instant storage. It's also got built-in firmware that allows you to customize your settings. And I love the fact that it's USB-C. This is the portable power station that runs the iron. You don't have to plug it in because it's 100% battery powered. It's got a USB-C connection, 100 watt output, and 5,200 milliamp hour capacity. Be sure to order your today. The soldering iron and the soldering station orders will start shipping on October 15th. If you want to order the soldering toolkit, that's going to be shipped by January 2025. I'm going to put a link in the description that'll take you right to the order page. So if both of these tools and the batteries are in this box, we can actually do pretty well on these. This one sold for $90, this one sold for $94, this one sold for a best offer, but they listed it for $119. So we could potentially make good money on this. It could be worth around $100. So let's see what's all in this. Okay, and we've got the case. Oh, I can already see some very beat up power tools. Seriously? You're gonna return that to the store? Yeah, another one. So basically somebody took their old power tools and bought these new ones and then returned their old ones in the box. And it doesn't come with batteries or anything. So, I mean, this is basically, these aren't gonna be worth anything. They're just junk. I mean, that's the risk you take when you buy, you know, salvage liquidation pallets, is stuff like this. I had such high hopes. It was nice and heavy. It felt like everything was in here. And then we get this. But I just found out more to the story. I was looking at the return slip inside, and look what it says. This was sold on eBay at some point, and the reason it was returned is because it doesn't match description or photos. So somebody tried to sell this on eBay, probably didn't even look in the box, and this is what somebody got when they tried to buy it. That would also be a very disappointing experience. So I'm the second person that this box is scammed. Let's move on to the next box. Next, we have this guy. We've got a P262 half-inch impact wrench. This actually looks like it's in pretty good condition. It's got some use on it, but not too bad. But first, these are selling for about $100 used on eBay. That one's $99, that one's $89, $99, $99. Yeah, so these are worth about $100. Well, let's hope this one works, especially after the last one. Okay, battery in. Here we go. And okay, so the button down here that changes how strong it is works. Let's see what happens. Okay. 1, 2. Good. 3. Okay. That actually seems pretty good and strong. I don't see anything wrong at all with this one. So this is great because this is worth about $100 used on eBay. So that sort of saves us from the last one at least. Let's move on to number 5 and see what we got. So here we've got a inflator, dual function digital inflator deflator, tool only, and this cost $70 from the Home Depot, and on eBay it's still going for $51 used. That's pretty good. Some of these are a little bit cheaper, so $40 to $50 used, but that's if it includes everything. Let's open it up and see what we got. All right, here we go. So far looks good. We've got the main tool, nothing else in the box. And we do have, okay, we've got the attachments down in here. That's good. Has another attachment here. This doesn't even look used. Let's plug in the battery and see what it does. Power. Oh, we're holding it upside down. There we go. Go. Okay, that definitely works. Light. I don't know. I don't see any problems with this one. This actually looks pretty handy. I might have to keep this for myself and not even resell it. But if I do resell it, should be worth right around $40 to $50. So this is another one that I think looks pretty good. Well, let's move on to number 6. All right, and this Ryobi sander is worth $40, $45 used on eBay. That's assuming everything is in here. I think it's just the sander only in here, so let's see if it's here and if it works. All right, looking great so far. We've got the dust collector, we got the owner's manual, we got the little guide. Okay, this is good so far. Hopefully this thing works because so far this is looking good. I don't know how this goes on. Maybe it's missing a piece. Maybe that's why it's here. Yeah, it has to have something that connects right there to connect the dust collector. So that could be part of the reason this is here. Let's see if the thing works though. How do we turn it on? Oh, there we go. Yeah, this thing works good. I think we're missing this piece right here. And looking for the dust chutes on this thing, I see dust chutes here. I don't think those are for the right, I don't think those are the right parts. I'm pretty sure we could still probably get at least 30 bucks for this thing just because it is, you know, if somebody had one that, you know, was broken somehow, this would be a great replacement because it's brand new, just missing that little dust chute. So I'm gonna say 30 bucks for it. I think that's pretty realistic. Next, we have a P322 18 volt brushless brad nailer. These are going for $189 brand new and about $85 or so used. Let's see what we have inside the box. Okay, and it looks like we have everything in here. Let's pull the tool out. Let's see what we got. Okay, that looks pretty good. Certainly don't see any problems from the outside. Put a battery in. I think I probably need to actually have brad nails in this thing, which we can do. Okay, the light comes on. We've got the strength indicator here. Yeah, I think we actually need to have brad nails in this thing. Now we'll test this one a little bit later once I have a chance to go grab some brad nails. For now, let's move on to number 8 and see what's going on with that one. So next we've got a variable speed orbital buffer. These sell for $40 to $50. This one sold for 50 bucks used on eBay. And the brand new price at Home Depot is $48. If you're buying something used, always check and see how much it costs new. If you're paying basically the same price, you might as well just get a new one in my opinion. But let's open it up and see what's in the box and see if it's got everything and if it works. This is a really beat up box, so hopefully this thing is okay. Another eBay packing slip. I'm not sure where these are being sold on eBay, but somebody was selling them on eBay. I wonder if Ryobi tries to sell these on eBay. Okay, so there we go. It looks like the whole thing is included. This is definitely dirty here. So I'm not sure I would expect $50 for this, but let's see if this thing actually works. And nothing. I don't know how this thing turns on though. There is kind of some concerning black dust all around this thing. So I feel like this thing, I think it's supposed to turn on when you turn this little dial right here, and clearly nothing happens. So I think this is the first one we might actually have to take apart and see what's going on inside. There is just a lot of this black dust kind of everywhere, which, I mean, that's definitely worrisome, honestly. So I'm gonna put this in our to fix pile. Let's move on to number 9. We've got a router, 1.5 peak horsepower router kit. Let's open this box up and see what's in it. This one goes for $99 new or about $40 on eBay used. I already see the problem here. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, yeah, so that's a major issue right here, and that is part of this entire housing right here. Yeah, that's no good. So I would think that would be fixable, assuming we could get parts for it. I'm trying to look and see how this is all attached right here. It must be attached right there and right over here maybe. Okay, let's see if we can find parts for it, because if we can't find parts for it, then it doesn't really matter, does it? So the part we're looking for is number 13, right there, that whole big old piece. 12, 13, kit, router base spindle lock, A, obsolete, not available. Come on, we got a part number though. Okay, this one sold, is no longer available. That sucks. Sold out of stock. It's 35 bucks anyway when this entire router is only worth 40 bucks, and I think this is the only one we have. I would guess that some of these parts, especially the motor, will bring us pretty close to what this thing's worth, especially if we part out the motor and, you know, maybe the power cord and something like that. And as you saw, the manufacturer doesn't make it available anymore, so that also makes it more difficult when manufacturers just stop supporting their products. That all being said, let's move on to item number 10. Item number 10 is a pair of shearers. So these ones sell for about $45 to $50 used on eBay. That one's about, let's call it $40. And this is the tool only. Those look unused. Also, who cuts their grass with that? Is that a thing? There we go. And there's the tool. It looks like we don't have the blade included. But I mean, this thing is totally brand new. What is going on here? That can't be normal. Somebody took the base plate off of this, or... Oh no. Oh, that's how you, is that how you switch them? This has to go on, must go on here like that. But how does that... There has to be something to attach this thing. There's some parts missing here. I don't know what though. Somebody bought this and stole parts off of it and then returned it? That's ridiculous. I mean, not surprising, that's what people do, but... Yeah, I mean, it works fine, but it's missing parts. Let's see if we can find parts for this thing. Now this is cool, compatible accessories and replacement parts. How much you want to bet that they won't actually have the replacement parts we need? There we go, open in Chrome. Okay, let's see what happens. And of course, it doesn't actually go to the model we need. Tool only, see more, come on. And parts, here we go. Okay, what do you have for parts? 0 products? I mean, that's your product. Plus, you also already show it down here. All right, now we're getting somewhere. So we have this little assembly number 3. What goes onto that? I feel like it's really hard to tell which of these parts go onto there. It must be all of these parts right here, but they all come separately. Okay, but this tells us what we need to know. We're definitely missing parts. There should be little parts that go in here. Unless, does that go on? Did I just have that upside down? Ah, frick. Oh man, I feel like an idiot. There needs to be something that goes on there. I feel like it's gotta be just like a little twisty knob or something that goes on there to hold that on. But the other problem with this is we are missing the cutting bar. So that's definitely a problem. I think this little piece probably is pretty easy to find or get. But obviously the bar, let's see how much the bar costs, because this thing's only worth 40 bucks. So if the bar is very expensive, I mean, even if it's not, I feel like our best bet is gonna be to sell this as this piece right here without the other bar. So the only place I can find the blade is on Ryobi's website, and it's 30 bucks. That includes both of them. That's the only place I can find that for sale though. The other thing too though, is on eBay. This one sold for $25. Best offer was accepted. So just this motor piece is worth at least 20 bucks. I also do have this. So I'm gonna say we could probably get 25 bucks for it as is. And I think that's the way to go. Just because if we buy the big cutter bar for it, we're just putting more money into it when it's just not really worth it. So we're gonna go $25 for this one. And the nice thing about it is it works great other than just missing this one piece. Let's move on to item number 11. And item number 11 is a Ryobi grinder. This grinder is worth about $60 brand new or about $50 used on eBay. Okay. Everything looks good so far. Got the handle here. Yeah, that all looks good. All right. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on with this one. Battery in. Whoa. I don't see any problem at all here. That all works. Yeah, that screws in there fine. And I just don't see any problems with this thing. And I found it. So the spindle lock right here should lock when you turn this thing, and it just doesn't. No matter what position anything is in, it just doesn't lock at all. All right, so we will take a look at that here in a minute. We've got a couple more tools to look at, so let's get those looked at, and then we'll get to all the repairs. And this is worth about $80 used, assuming that it works and all the parts are here. Costs about $149 new. But are all the parts here? Okay, this has definitely been used. Let's see if this is even the correct tool. Okay, I mean, it looks like it's probably correct. Definitely got some use on it, that's for sure. We do have a battery, that is really good news. And a charger, and then the extension tube. Okay, but is this a 4 amp hour battery? This looks like a good, yeah, 4 amp hour. It does have some power in it, that's good. I'm gonna plug it in and make sure the battery charges. Let's see what happens. And we get a blinking red light. Does it go to the green? Green and red supposedly mean faulty battery. So we might need to be taking a look at this battery. Let's try plugging in this smaller battery and see what happens. Okay, that definitely works. And one of the problems here is it's really hard to tell. Let me see if we can see in here. If you look in there, there is 2 blades broken. And so this thing vibrates very badly. And you can hear it too. But I don't know, we can look, let's look and see if that part is, if it's cheap enough, it might be worth it. And that part looks to be available for $5. That doesn't include shipping, obviously, but I'm gonna get it ordered so we can get it replaced. So I'm gonna put the battery off to the side. We'll look at that later. Let's move on to number 13, and that is this cordless pet stick vac kit. Okay, we got a user guide. Oh, here we go. Alrighty, we've got a battery that's looks like it's not even been plugged in. That's awesome, and it's the 4 amp hour battery, same one as this one over here, I think. Okay, that is great news. And we have another charger. Looks like it's in great condition. Let's plug this battery in and see if it works. Okay, looks good, it's charging. That is great news. Okay, and this is actually worth $150, $175. If this is in good condition, I'm gonna put $150. And oh man, that would be amazing. That would save us from some of these other ones that have just not been great. Okay, let's look and see how the rest of it looks, and then obviously if it works. Okay, here's the main motor part. And that is in really nice condition. Great. One of the extension tubes. And then in the box we have the rest of the extension tubes and the other parts. So that's good. It looks like we have all the parts here, but we need to see if this thing works. So let's get this battery. That battery should be charged enough to test at least. Okay, how do you power this thing on? Oh, here we go. Okay, is it gonna work? Heck yeah, it works. Okay, and I did find this down in the bottom of the box. And then this should just snap on there, I think. Like that. It should come off somehow, I'm not sure how. Yeah, that works. There needs to be like a seal or something on here. That's the only problem I see here. This seal needs to be on here. And this one, they actually sell right on Amazon for $8. So I'm gonna get that ordered. And I think this one is ready to go. So this should make around 150 bucks. We've only got one more of the Ryobi tools. So I'm gonna take a look at that one. It is a nailer, so I've gotta go to the store and get some nails, and then we'll have a look at it. And item number 14 is this Ryobi 16 gauge straight nailer. Everything looks really good so far. It looks basically unused. I did get some straight nails, so let's put a battery in and fire it up and see what happens. This thing is worth about $100 used on eBay, so if this works, that's gonna be amazing. Okay, battery in. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, that works super good. There is zero problems with this. That works amazing. So item number 14 is looking good, and this should be worth about $100. Now that we've gone through all the 14 items in the Ryobi tools, let's get to the broken ones and see if we can fix any of them. While we're working on nailers, I also got some brad nails. So let's try this brad nailer and see what happens. Nails are in, battery's in. Let's see if this thing works. Whoa. Nope, we just got flashing lights right there. I have no clue what that means. Oh, did it work? So I did get it to work. Now the lights are just flashing again. Okay, battery out, back in. And that definitely tried to do something. Okay. That's totally working now. We want to go not in as far. Let's see what that does. Oh yeah, there we go. So what? Now this thing's just working just fine. What would be the cause of that? Maybe bad battery contacts? Doesn't work again. Does work again. I think it's just battery contacts that aren't making good contact. Kind of tough to see down in there very good. I'm gonna get cotton swab. Oh, there's like some, I don't know, something on them. Yeah, look at all that block I'm getting off. Okay, let's also look at this battery. You can see a bunch of black on there too. Is that all that was keeping this from working? I feel like it might be. Now that it's clean, put the battery back in, all the way on, light comes on, works good, works good, works good. Let's try it again. I think you have to turn this thing on first. So right now, the light's not on. If I try to nail something, it doesn't nail. Now the light is on. Actually, let me take the battery out, put it back in. Light is on. Works fine. So some of it could have been user error possibly, but also like I feel like those battery contacts could have been a problem as well. Either way, this was a super easy fix and this thing's working great now. So this one alone is worth 85 bucks. We're starting off great on our repairs. Let's get to this buffer. I think this one is gonna be significantly more difficult. I have a feeling it may not even be fixable just judging by all of the black kind of grime that's on the outside. But let's get it taken apart and take a look at the inside. All right, and here we go. I've never taken one of these apart before. In fact, I've taken apart very few power tools, so this should be interesting. No idea if this is how I should be doing it or not, but you know, just start taking screws out, right? It'll get you somewhere. So after looking at this thing a little bit more, I found some major issues. Mainly this brake right here. It's broken right there fully. You can see when I move this, let me try and get better focus. That's totally broken, which is this case right here. And then this is also cracked and partially broken as well. So unfortunately, this one's just not going to be worth trying to fix because this would have to be replaced in order to get this one back into good condition, good enough so it would work reliably. That's a pretty big break right there. So as much as I would like to try and fix this one, between this break and then whatever's going on the inside to create all of this black dust, unfortunately, this one is just going to be not fixable. Well, let's move on to the grinder and see if this is something we can fix. I have no clue what's going on with this thing, but hopefully this will be easy to check out because there is just some screws right here. And I'm hoping this piece will just pull off so then we can see what's going on in here. I feel like this detent must be just broken off or something in there. I don't know. Let's figure out what we can do about this. There we go. Okay, we're good there. All right, now these 4 screws right here should get us in. Here we go. Okay, nothing sprang out. That's good. All right, I'm just gonna get some of this grease out of here. Just kind of move it out of the way. I don't see, I guess maybe it's a little bit boogered up right there on the edge. Is that enough for it to not go in there? I mean, it must be. That must be all it is. I can't see anything else going on in there. But I noticed another issue, and that is I can turn this, and that turns this unless I hold this, and then that just spins. This shouldn't be able to just spin on that shaft, I don't think. So there's just a snap ring holding that on. I'm gonna get that snap ring off. And let's take a look inside there and see what's going on. And with some snap ring pliers, we can grab that and take it off. And then we've got this funky looking washer. And then does this, oh, that just slides off. Okay, cool. And then the key is gone. There's no key for this shaft. So that key needs to slide down and go inside that little piece right there. And it's just gone. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of dig around in here, see if I feel anything strange that shouldn't be in here. I think this just must be a defect from the factory. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense. So unless someone took it apart and removed it, that's the only option. Luckily, I am close to a hardware store that has a lot of this stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is take this over there and see if they have a key that will work for that. So I went to the store and I couldn't find the size of Woodruff key I needed for this. I checked online. They don't sell it anywhere online, even from Ryobi. They don't have a parts diagram for this. So unfortunately, at least right now, we can't fix this. I am confident that I can find one that I can grind down to this size, but unfortunately, I just don't have the setup for that right now. So while I can't fix this right now, I'm also not calling this unfixable because it's totally fixable. It just needs this little key, and I think I can do it. I'm just not set up for it right now. And with that being said, let's move on to the 2 batteries that we need to fix. So let's first have a look at this one. I did remove these 4 screws, and the screw on the top. And then this just pops right off. And just looking at it, I don't see any corrosion. I don't see any liquid damage. I don't see any signs of any problems in here, so far anyway. So here's our ground tab. It's marked GND down there. And here is our plus tab, and they're just 0 volts. Now let's go through and check each battery and just see. I guess there's not going to be any voltage in any of these, I guess, because it's showing 0 voltage. So 002. Yeah, we're from 002 to 003. Okay, so I think what I want to do this is try and jumpstart it. Now I do want to mention that this is for entertainment only. Don't try this at home. This is not an instructional guide. This isn't anything other than let's just see if we can get it work and pure entertainment. So I have this other battery right here that is the same voltage. And when we test the voltage on that, we have 20.13 volts. So plenty of voltage on this one. So what I'm going to do is connect the ground tab to the ground tab and the plus tab to the plus tab. And then we'll see if that'll jumpstart this one, get a little bit of voltage in it. And then once we have some voltage in it, we can see if it'll charge on a charger. So I've got the grounds hooked together and the power hooked to there, and I'm gonna touch the power to here. I'm just gonna leave it for like 30 seconds to a minute-ish. I don't want to get too crazy here and leave it for a long period of time. Just want to see if this thing's gonna take any charge or not. Also kind of monitoring the wires, making sure nothing gets too warm. Everything seems fine so far. Okay, let's see if there's any voltage at all in this one now. A little bit. A very little bit. Okay, that does seem like maybe it's working though, so let's connect it a little bit longer and see if we can get this thing to charge up a little bit. Okay, so we've been jump starting this for a few minutes. Let's see, 7.36 volts. Okay, so that is taking some voltage now. At first this wasn't taking any voltage at all, but now it seems like it is, so that's great news. I'm gonna let it charge a little bit more. I did check with my thermal camera to make sure there's nothing getting hot or anything like that, and it all looks good. So I'm gonna let this go for a little bit. Let's take a look at this other bad battery while that's charging. So this one just had some screws on the top and a screw up here, but we were able to get into it pretty easily. It just had one of these warranty or tamper tabs on it, but got that out. Now taking a look at the inside of this battery, let's see if there's any voltage at all on this one. Oh, we got 10 volts on this one. Okay, so that's good news, but we got to figure out why it's not charging, really doing anything. Is that corrosion right down? Let's get under a microscope. I think I might see a problem. And already you can see there's some corrosion here. Let's look at the rest of the board. Yep, we got more going on right down there. We have any more? This part looks good. And that chip also looks fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is just give this board a good cleaning. I'm hoping we don't have to remove it, but we might need to take this board off so we can look at the underside of it. But let's give it a good cleaning first. See if that helps us out any. Yeah, this is actually looking pretty good. I'm sure it's not going to work, but I think I want to put this back on a charger now and just see if it happens to charge just with that little bit of cleaning. I can't imagine it will, but I think it's worth checking just because that's the only thing I see that is an issue on this board so far. So let's give it a try. Now let's try it. See what it does. Blinking red light. Come on. And same thing as before. Okay, so we got more to do on this battery. But I think what I want to do now is try and jumpstart this one. We have this other good battery. So I'm going to get this one jump starting while the other one is, and hopefully we'll get at least one good working battery out of these two. So this is what I found with jump starting these batteries. All the normal methods I couldn't get to work, but what I did get to work is right over here is a MOSFET, and I found that if I manually turn it on and close that contact, then the battery will actually charge. So you can see when I check between the positive and negative terminals, we're at 17.93. That's going to go up to 17.94 at some point. Come on. 17.94. So it is charging right now. I'm going to leave these connected, and then I'm going to disconnect the jumper wire that if I can get my probe to stay on here, then I'll disconnect the wire that is turning on that MOSFET and watch what happens. It immediately goes down. So I'm going to leave this charge for a little bit longer. And we're going to check this battery that I already used that method for and see if it works. So this battery, I had it hooked up the same. I had one jumper that went from here to the positive post, and that turned this MOSFET on, and that seems to be what got this one charging. Now, I do want to check. We need to make sure that it'll work when it's on the actual charger. So I'm going to put this together and put the screws in, and then we'll test it out. Let's plug it in and see what happens. Okay, we got a charge indicator here. Oh yeah, all good. So this battery is all fixed up. The other one still needs some time to charge, but for now, let's move on to the next few items and see if we can fix those. Now, before we get to the DeWalt and Milwaukee items, we've got 3 Ridgid devices, we've got 1 Craftsman, and 1 Porter cable. So let's take a look at these first, then we'll get to the Milwaukee and DeWalt stuff. And this Craftsman box, I already opened it. It actually was open when I got it out of the pallet, and I'm just gonna say it's extremely disappointing. This is what's inside. We've got a broken DeWalt sander, it looks like. Oh, 2 broken DeWalt sanders. So apparently somebody bought something and then decided to return these and get their money back. Then we have lithium ion. Yeah, this is like a third party. Yeah, this is like a third-party battery. So this is just a box of trash. So unfortunately, another return scam, but let's move on and see what the Porter cable item is. And item 16 is, it looks like an air tool. Not sure why this was in with power tools, but it was. Let's see if it's in here and what kind of condition it's in. All right, here we go. Oh, that actually looks really nice. This thing looks like it's not even been used. Oh, no, it definitely has been used. Okay. I'm not really set up to test air tools, so I'm not sure what to do with this one, actually. I'm gonna set this one to the side, and if we have time, we'll test it at the very end. And it looks like that Porter cable finish nailer is worth $10 to $15, although this is $33 with free shipping, so probably around 30 bucks with free shipping. This was $14.95, so it's definitely not worth a lot. It's not going to be high in my priority list, but if I can figure out how to test it, then I'll do that at the end. Let's take a look at our first Ridgid item. We've got a subcompact brushless one-handed reciprocating saw. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, and this is just the tool only. It looks like that's in really good condition. It has been used. Definitely got some marks on it. We need a battery for it. Hopefully one of the other 2 Ridgid devices has a battery, because I don't have one other than that. So let's get them out and see if there's a battery inside. And item number 18 supposedly has a battery charger and a battery along with this drill and a case. Let's see if that's actually in here or not. But what is inside? Here we go. Does it have a battery? Charger? Oh, here we go. As long as this battery works, that should work fine. So I'm gonna plug this in and get this thing charging, and then we can test these tools with this one. All right, let's see if this battery actually charges. I can get it on there straight. Temperature delay. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. That's the same thing. I think we're gonna have to try and jumpstart this battery too. Oh man. Let's see if we can test the voltage on this battery. It is supposed to be 18 volts. Let's see if we can see what the voltage actually is. We've got 0 volts on this one. Let's see if we can figure out how to take this apart. And then we'll use these Ryobi batteries to jumpstart it, hopefully. So just looking at this battery a bit, we got the negative over here, positive is right here. Oh, we actually have 13.69, okay. So we can get that jump started, I think. All right, we got this all set up. Let's try and jump start the switch. There we go. Let's see what happens now, see if we have any voltage coming in. We have 16.6, yep. This one's charging. So I haven't been leaving this on just like 100% of the time. I'll put it on and then take it off just to make sure nothing overheats. But I'm gonna let this go for a little bit and then we'll try and start it up and see what happens. Okay, we have this battery up above 17 volts. So next what we need to do, let's see what happens when we press the button. We get 4 long blinks. So what I want to do next is do a reset on the microcontroller. So this is the ground pin. TP42 is what we need to do, reset. So let's try it. LEDs light up, barely. Oh, we still get the same thing. So it might need more voltage in the battery. I'm not really sure. Yeah, we just kind of get the same thing. So I'm going to keep charging this thing up, and hopefully once we get enough voltage in it, then it will actually reset. So this Ridgid battery's been jump starting for quite a while now. Let's check the voltage. 19.11 volts. That should be plenty enough voltage to consider it jump started. Okay, here we go. And nothing. Okay. So when we press this button, we get the 4 blinking lights. So let's do a reset on the microcontroller. That should be reset now. And same thing. So what I'm going to do is let's check the batteries on this and see how balanced they are. I feel like maybe they're not very balanced. They're a little bit warm from charging too, so that could be part of the issue here. Let's see what we get. 3.6, 3.8, 3.8, 3.8, 3.8. So this first one definitely is lower than the rest. That might be enough to trip the controller into not allowing this to work properly. I also don't have a replacement for that battery. So what I'm going to do is just let this cool down for a little bit, and then we'll just try it again and just see if it happens to work. Now I did buy a brand new 2 amp hour Ridgid battery so we can test these tools, because I don't know if that other battery is going to work. So let's plug in this first one, see if it's going to work. There we go, and definitely not. It's like the motor is just locked up. Okay, let's take a look at the next Ridgid tool. So this drill is the one that had the defective battery in the kit. Hopefully the actual drill works. Yep. Yep, don't see any problem with that. So I think we're good to go there. I think in this drill kit, I think it was just that battery that was faulty. For tool number 19, we have this brushless jigsaw. Let's open this up. It feels like there's at least something in here. Let's open it up and find out. Okay, everything looks good so far. Okay, here we go. And once again, this looks like very little, if any, use. And yeah, this seems to work fine. This one retails for $179 and sells used on eBay for 90 bucks. So that's a great one. The drill kit we just looked at sells for $60 used. The reciprocating saw with the motor locked up sells for $65. So let's get this apart and see if we can figure out what's going on. And there's the inside. I don't see anything too crazy going on. Just need to figure out why this motor isn't turning inside here. Does this? Yep, I can just pull it right out. Okay, that's awesome. There's just not much to these things. Okay, what I'm gonna do first though, I'm gonna take pictures of all this just because I have never taken these apart before. Now this can come out. So I wonder if it's the motor locked up or the gearbox. I feel like it's probably the gearbox out of anything. So let's try and take this gearbox apart and see what happens. Okay, there's that. So, oh, okay, that's easy enough. Oh, I already saw a washer fall out. Where did that, oh, got a pin and a washer. Okay, a washer right here. And this pin, oh, that's jammed up in there. So this pin looks to me like it's supposed to go maybe right down here, just similar to how this pin is, but I'm not sure what keeps that pin there. We do have this washer, but a washer isn't gonna keep it there. Let's wipe that other pin off and see what's on there. Yeah, there's like a little snap ring. So that's what we need. Also, this is just all totally locked up. I feel like it should be able to move down. I'm not sure why it's not, but it's not even close to moving. That's jammed in there, but that whole thing I think should move down. Maybe not. Maybe it's just totally locked up right in that position, which means the best we can do is get this pin unjammed, maybe. Oh, got it to move a little bit. There we go. Okay, so the pin looks mostly fine, but where did that little snap ring go? That's the question. Also, can we get this motor? Ooh, we got a fan blade on the motor that's broken, it looks like. Okay, the motor does turn. So if I turn that, yeah, that turns the gear. Yep, that turns everything. Is this snap ring gone and still here, or is it broken? Oh, we got a broken tooth on the gear. Eee, that's no good. Oh man. And I found it right up in here. That is its condition, which is not good. So unfortunately, I think for this one, between the broken gear, the snap ring, and then on this fan back here, there's that broken blade there as well. Even if I did fix this one, I wouldn't feel good about selling it or anything like that. And to get it fixed fully so it works really well, like basically brand new, is gonna be more than the tool costs. So unfortunately for this one, we're gonna have to call it unfixable. All right, back on this Ridgid battery. Let's see how many volts we have. 19 volts. It should be plenty for it to charge, but we're still getting just these 4 blinking lights. So if we reset the controller again, we can tell because these lights come on very faintly. Reset the controller, press the button, still the same thing. Let's just retry it in the charger. Again, this isn't some, don't try this at home. This is all just experimenting and for entertainment. And same thing. Now that this battery sat for a while, let's see how much voltage is in each battery. 3.6, about the same as before. 3.8, yeah, 3.8, 3.8, and 3.8. So I think the problem we have here is that this battery right here is significantly lower, somewhat significantly lower than the rest of these batteries, and that's why the controller is not letting this battery charge or be used. Now, I do have a spot welder, but I'm definitely not confident in my skills. I don't have a replacement battery. I think what I'm gonna do with this is call it not fixable for now. I might revisit this though in the future and see if I can replace this. I know I probably can do it, but it's not something that I'm super comfortable with, and definitely not something that I would want to resell when I was done. So I'm gonna set this to the side and maybe revisit it in a future video, but for now we're calling this unfixable. So this is the other Ryobi battery pack, the larger one, and we've been jumping that for a while. And let's see how much voltage it has, 18.31 volts. Now this one does a similar thing. We've got 3 red lights. Down on this side, you see all these holes right here. The second one from the bottom says RST. So that tells me that's the reset one. So we'll reset that. And then check and see what we have. Same 3 lights. Let's check these batteries. 3.6. 3.6. 3.6. 3.6. 3.6. All good so far. 3.6. 3.6. 3.6. 3.5. And 3.5. So over here we've got 2 cells that are likely faulty, and that's probably the problem with this battery. So I will also keep this battery around, and at least we can see what kind of cell we have here. The other one we can't even see the kind of cell we have. So this is a 18650, which I think is pretty common for these. So need to grab some of those cells at some point, and then maybe I'll just make another video trying to fix these battery packs. So I'm still waiting for those Ryobi parts. We're all done with the Ridgid, the Porter cable, and the Craftsman stuff. Let's move on to the DeWalt tools. Future Steve here, realizing that this is gonna be a really long video. I think we need to split it into 2 parts. So I'm gonna end today's video here, but next week I'm gonna have a part 2. And if you're watching after the week is passed, I'm gonna link that video right up on your screen now, so you can click on that and come hang out with me over there and see how many of these I could fix. Thanks again to iFixit for sponsoring this video. Thanks so much for watching today, and I hope you have a good one.